What is up, everybody? This is Zombie Talk 123 here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Now, Jurickson Profar, he could be the new face of baseball, along with guys like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Steven Strasburg. The list goes on and on. As September call-ups are coming, there's going to be a lot of prospects to be excited about and a lot of added depth to this Major League roster, much needed depth for most teams. Shelby Miller is being called up now. That's very exciting for me as a Cardinal fan. But Jurickson Profar, you know, any fan of, just a fan of baseball is going to be extremely excited to see this guy. He comes from a small island of Curacao in the Caribbean. I remember I watched a documentary of the Little League World Series, and his brother kept being mentioned. They kept talking about this, just a fantastic shortstop. He stands out. He's probably going to be a major leaguer. And they kept saying Profar. Where have I heard? Oh my God, his brother is Jurickson Profar. That makes so much sense. Coming from a small island of Curacao, he has a lot of athleticism, instinct for baseball. He has the power, speed, everything. He's having a great year at AA and has really worked up his way up the ladder in the MLB prospect list all the way to #1 according to MLB.com. Now, of course, different lists list him differently. You know, he's like #4 on some, but most of them can agree that he's probably the biggest prospect in baseball right now, considering a lot of the top prospects have either struggled this year or in the majors right now. So, Jurickson Profar, he's a huge talent. Any organization in Major League Baseball would covet someone like this. I really wish the Cardinals would have made a trade for this guy a few years ago because, oh my gosh, it's much needed shortstop for the future. With Rafael Furcal being hurt and, you know, only for another year, I would have just absolutely loved. But again, every team would have loved to have this. Here is a Starlin Castro type player, except I think more power immediately. It's going to take a while for Castro to develop that power. He's already done a lot better job this year of utilizing that power, but this guy, he has it all, and it looks like he has it right now, not taking too much time to develop. He's got the speed, the power, the average, and great defensive play. He can play short and second, as he played second in his first debut. So let's talk about the news. Why I even was able to make this video was him hitting a home run in his first at-bat off of another rookie, I believe, Zach McAllister of the Cleveland Indians. Now, the first pitch he threw, he hit it out of the yard. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. You have all this hype. Jurickson Profar, not expecting much, though. I mean, this guy, he's 19 years old, 195 days, the only teenager in American League history to hit a home run in his first plate appearance. And to do it with the first pitch is absolutely fantastic. He also hit a double. And not only that, the Rangers won the game. So he joins a very small list of players to hit a home run in his first at-bat. But Starling Marte and Eddie Rodriguez of the Padres have done it this year. Marte was an exciting situation because there's a lot of hype around him. He comes up and he hits a home run. And same with Jurickson Profar. But now, why would the Rangers call someone up who's 19 years old unless they really need to use him for an everyday role for the immediate future? Otherwise, you can save a lot of money and not start that arbitration clock until next season. I mean, he comes from AA to the majors at 19 years old. You know, the Rangers didn't necessarily need to call him up, but they did. And he came in and stepped in for Ian Kinsler at second base, who had some back problems or some stiffness. And that won't be like an everyday thing, though. I mean, Ron Washington said it's not going to be an everyday thing for Jurickson Profar. He doesn't expect it to be. He said he's very happy with it either way. He says he's going to, you know, get better just being on the bench, watching these guys. But for the future, it's a very interesting situation. You have two potential future all-star shortstops. You have an all-star second baseman. You have an all-star third baseman. How do you fit all these guys? Now let's look at the possibilities for having Elvis Andrus and Profar stay on the team together for the next few years and maybe more beyond that. There's a few options. Number one, if Josh Hamilton doesn't re-sign with the Rangers, Ian Kinsler could potentially go to the outfield, moving Jurickson Profar to second base, and you would have a Profar-Andrus combination in the middle of the infield with Beltre at third. That would be fantastic, but you're losing a lot of offense with Josh Hamilton. If they don't re-sign Hamilton, they would have money to spend elsewhere. They could get creative. They could improve their pitching staff. They could do a lot of things. Now, they called up a lot of other prospects in their batch, so we'll see how guys like Martin and Perez do getting called up for the Rangers, providing depth in the outfield and pitching, of course. Or what they could do is, if they re-sign Hamilton and don't re-sign Nelson Cruz, Profar could be a role player next year, coming in, platooning in certain situations, and then after Nelson Cruz leaves via free agency, then you can move Kinsler to the outfield, or they could use one of their prospects in the outfield. There's a lot of options. it's kind of hard to try to guess what's going to happen. Their GM John Daniels is extremely smart. What could happen though is still a possibility. Is Elvis Andrus could be shopped, but in my mind, it doesn't really make sense to me to shop someone who's an all-star right now for someone who is still technically a prospect. I mean, he's played one game. Yes, he had a great debut. He has a lot of talent and a lot of potential, but that doesn't always work out. So to trade a 23-year-old, pretty, signed, locked up all-star shortstop right now, who's provided your team fantastically, and Ron Washington said that he's already overused him this year, to make room for a prospect is not very logical, but we'll see how Jurickson Profar does the rest of the season, and that could change their mind. So I hope the best for Jurickson Profar. Congrats on the great debut and the Texas Rangers. We'll see how all that goes. Thank you for watching. This is MLB Talk 123. Check me out on Twitter. Hopefully donate. Thanks.